Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Heather, Jersey Girl, True Crime. I still think that's corny, but hey, I came up with it last minute. So, guess what? Today is going to be my first ever special request video. um, I had been asking you guys what cases you'd like to see me cover, and I got one reply from a lovely lady named Cassandra. And I'm going to cover the Springfield 3 today. So I remember vaguely kind of when this was going on. I was again little, like like I was little when Diane Downs was in the news. This was well, I mean, I guess it wasn't. Yeah, it was like 10 years after the Diane Downs thing. So I was in high school when this happened. I was like a freshman or a sophomore. So yeah, the girls were just a little bit older than me, so it's a little bit, messed up, kind of close, close to my heart. So, yeah, since this happened in 1992, so they're over 30 years now. So, um, unfortunately, this is one of those ones that's just a real brain stumper. Like, they still haven't found the person that did it. Or, I mean, they may have, and I just don't think they had the evidence. I'm not as familiar with this story as I am with other stories, so I'm glad that I'm doing this because it reminds me there's another situation because this is two girls and one of the girls' moms disappeared, right? In the Springfield 3 case. There's another case somewhere where a mom took her daughter and her daughter's friend on a vacation and the maintenance guy killed them in the hotel room. But I always confuse that case with this case because it's, two girls and one of their moms in both situations. But I mean, just what happened to them is very different. But I can't. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Can't think of the name of that case. I'll have to get in, look it up because, yeah, it's weird. I always confused the two. And when Cassandra said Springfield 3, that I thought the other ladies. Which go figure, right? I don't know. It's weird how my brain works. All right, so it's been 3 decades since the weekend that it disappeared without a trace. Susie Streeter was 19, Stacy McCall was 18, and they both just graduated from Kickapoo High School. And this was in Springfield, Missouri. So they spent the evening of Saturday, June 6, 1992 at several parties to celebrate graduation. They ended the night at 1717 East Delmar Street, where Susie lived with her mom, 47-year-old Cheryl Levitt. Okay? And this is like a stupid Heather comment, but I was just noticing how adorable her name is spelled. Cheryl, she's got a Sherrill, Cheryl. That's cute. I like that. So it says, by the following day, friends and family members of the women became concerned because no one answered the phone and they went to the house. They found the door unlocked. Their vehicles were parked outside. Their personal belongings, including their purses and packs of cigarettes, were sitting there too, left behind. Now, if it were me, I'm taking my cigarettes with me. Alright, and I know smoking is bad, but check it out, you guys. I used to smoke a pack a day. I'm down to a pack lasts me about 4 or 5 days. I hardly smoke. So I'm trying to get there, slowly. Wish me luck, right? Oh, you know what? I have a coffee sitting here. I have to grab it 1 second. Please hold. I love Michelle After Dark. She's one of my favorite YouTubers, and she says that when she does a live and she has to let her dogs out or something, she'll be like, "Please hold," and it's really cute. She's a British accent too, so it's just adorable when she says that. Anyway, you guys know me and my coffee. I have to have it. This is this is a French vanilla coffee with peppermint mocha creamer. It's really, really good. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, yeah, it's like a peppermint patty, sort of. Alright. So, like I was saying, I wouldn't go anywhere with my cigarettes, and they left everything behind. Their purses, the whole bit. So, in my head, I'm thinking, like, a home invasion, probably. Someone came in and threatened them, said, "Let's go right now," and didn't even give them the time to grab anything. And I don't think it was any sort of robbery, because, you know what I mean? So by the evening of Sunday, June 7th, police were called. Within days, the FBI had joined the case and national media outlets are reporting on the women's disappearance, but the case has never been solved. 10 years after the disappearance of the women, they, the News Leader, Springfield News Leader, it's a paper, published an in-depth look at the case, taking readers in serial fashion from the day the women were seen alive through the first frantic days of the nationwide search. So I'm going to be sharing this stuff with you. This is where I'm getting my information. It's from the Springfield News Leader, their online version of their paper, I suppose. It's actually a really, really good article on this. So I'm, happy to like share it with you guys and like let me know what you think because I'm curious. This case is a stumper. It really is. They don't have much of anything, and I wonder now with all the advancements in DNA if they could retest some stuff. I don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself, but let's see. Part 1. An overview and timeline of the case. They disappeared after the graduation parties. To this day, police do not have a clear picture of what happened, and a decade later, the case still haunts the Ozarks. Oh, that's right. Missouri. This is like, the show Ozark. Yeah. I haven't seen the whole thing yet. I'm working my way through it. It's pretty good. No spoilers, okay? Haven't finished it. Alright, so, part 2. The graduates smile for pictures and head to parties. It was graduation day, and Stacy was tired of smiling, but she put up with it. The camera kept clicking, and she kept the charm flowing. When Janice McCall closes her eyes and thinks about her daughter, the enduring image is of a smiling 18-year-old walking out the door one last time. The frame was frozen on June 6, 1992. Can you imagine that? Like, to have that picture in your memory just of what your daughter looked like that morning walking out the door, and having that just like stuck in your head like freeze frame, like, oh, I just wish I could have just grabbed her and kept her here, just for the day. Yeah, it's horrible. It's really so sad when you think about like when stuff just comes out of nowhere. They just graduated, like kind of like Kylie Rodney. So upsetting. It reminds me, I need to redo that case because I'm still not right about that. Alright. So part 3, the family and friends started to, call and call and call. It says unanswered calls, family and friends worry as the 3 can't be found. Janelle Kirby had been with Stacy and Susie at graduation parties the night before, and they were all going to meet the next morning at a water park. It was called Branson Water Park. It was nearly noon and the girls hadn't called. Kirby and her boyfriend went to the Delmar Street house, but no one was home. A broken porch light was the only sign something might be wrong. Maybe Stacy's mom knew where they were. Yeah, they put out these missing posters with the 3 women's photos. Like the 3 pictures of side by side. And, it always makes me wonder, like, if people who commit these crimes, like, when they see the flyers, which is basically like carnage from whatever sick shit they did, and they're the only ones that knew that they're guilty, what do you think goes through their heads when they see that? Like, do you think they're like, ooh, I'm special, like I have this big secret, and look at these idiots, they don't know it's me, I'm standing right here, you know what I mean? Like, I get that there's a certain amount of cockiness, but I don't know, I've always wondered. Or would you just get scared, like, seeing that in print? Oh my god, I did that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't... See, with me, if I ever committed some sort of a crime, which... Yeah, no. I have no balls, you guys. I mean, yeah, that's good, because I'm a female, but I mean, I really have no balls. I am, like, scared to, do that rebellious shit. Some people think stealing is cool, and I couldn't steal anything if my life depended on it because I would shake like a leaf and give myself away. My body betrays me in the worst way. I can't lie. I can't steal. I can't do any of that stuff because I will completely give myself away. It's just the way my body is. Like, if I know something is morally not right, I don't want to be doing it, it'll be all over me. And unfortunately, I can't. I'm not able to hide that shit. Okay, but I digress. Sorry. It started like a missing persons case, but not for long. Before television cameras or newspaper reporters showed up at their South Springfield home, Janice and Stu McCall made a pact. They would not show emotion publicly, Janice said. Even though we were crying all the time, we didn't want people to portray us that way. We didn't want that. We only thought of Stacy. See, but I think you should cry as the parent of a missing child. If you don't cry, then you just look guilty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how I had talked about, well, Diane Downs again. Perfect example. Like, the woman was so stone-faced and she didn't even cry when the doctor said that her daughter was dead and that her other daughter had a stroke and is almost dead. And then her little boy, who's 3 years old, will never walk again. And she's just, can I go to work tomorrow? Oh, I hope my car's not too bad. I just bought it. Bitch! Your 3 children bled out. There's like puddles of blood in your stupid Nissan. I'm sorry, I get off track and I get really angry about that woman. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, criminals are idiots. But what I was saying though is the parents forcing themselves not to cry, I think that makes them look unnatural. Like, and it would draw more attention than they're intending to. Like, they're doing it because they think it's going to make them look better, but the results are it's just going to make them look terrible, I think. What do you guys think? So, Springfield police detectives, the long sleepless nights began June 8th, 1992, and nearly every other case was set aside. Part 5. The mystery, thousands of tips, but no evidence. No crime scene, no witnesses. It's like, wow. Yeah. It looked like a grave, the earth moist and dark on top, as if soil had been freshly turned. This is a place where someone could bury someone, Officer Ron Hutchison thought. But this lead played out like all the rest. And again, I am giving full credit to this Springfield News Leader paper here. It's amazing. The journalism is really, really good. And, yeah, I had just, glad that I found this article. It's an easy way to tell you guys the story, plus giving these guys a shout out because they're really, really good. This is a place where someone could bury someone, Officer Ron Hutchison thought, but this lead played out like all the rest. 10 years after the women's disappearance, some placed blame for the stumbling investigation on the chief of police, who they described as a micromanager who didn't let detectives do their job. Oh God, I hate people like that. I hate it. You know, it's like sometimes at work I'm like, I just have to do it myself because, like, no one else is competent. I hate it. Like, it drove me nuts. It still drives me nuts. Like, I'm dreading dealing with that shit again. Alright. So, as national news media descended on Springfield, the case took on a life of its own. Sorry, I was swapping out articles here. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so, you know, I guess they're supposed to meet up with people at the water park, and then they don't show up, and it's like, where did they go? They don't have any, like, leads or anything. It's crazy how, like, it's like aliens came down and zapped them away. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, usually there's at least a, inkling, an idea. Let me look into this a little bit more. I thought that article would be more detailed, but it ended up kind of crapping out on me. I mean, it was good. It got everything, all the, you know, facts right and stated, but it just was kind of brief. I was hoping I could find some better descriptions and stuff. Let's try Wikipedia, right? I guess that's a good idea. Okay, Springfield 3, unresolved missing persons case, blah, blah, blah. We know that, we know that. There were no signs of the struggle except for the broken porch light globe. There was also a message on the answering machine the police believe might have provided a clue about the disappearances, but it was inadvertently erased. Damn, don't you hate when that happens? You know what, though? Kind of surprised that there even was a phone message. You know, like, that's a good fact, even if we didn't have it any longer. At least we had it. In 1997, Robert Craig Cox, a convicted kidnapper and robber, claimed that he knew that the women had been murdered and that their bodies would never be recovered. Neither their whereabouts nor their remains have ever been discovered. Cheryl was 47 at the time of her appearance. She was 5 foot tall, 110 pounds, with short, light blonde hair, brown eyes, and pierced ears. She was a cosmetologist at a local salon, and she was a single mother. She was described as being very close to her daughter, Suzanne Elizabeth Susie Streeter. Streeter was 19 years old, was 5'2", and 102 pounds, with shoulder-length blonde hair and brown eyes. Her distinguishable marks included a scar on her upper right forearm, a small mole on the corner of her mouth, and pierced ears. Left ear pierced twice. Stacy Kathleen McCall was 18, 5'3", and 120 pounds. She had long, dark blonde hair and light-colored eyes. So, the last time the girls were seen, like, you know how we were talking about they went to the graduation parties? The last time they were seen was 2 a.m. So, it says at some point during the night they were also seen in Battlefield. I don't know where that is. The pair planned to spend the night at their friend Janelle Kirby's house, but when they decided Kirby's house was too crowded, they instead left to go to Streeter's and thus Levitt's home at 1717 East Delmar Street to retire for the night. It is assumed they arrived because their clothing, jewelry, purses, and vehicles were all present at the house the next day. Levitt was last heard from at approximately 11:15 p.m. on June 6th, when she spoke with a friend on the phone about painting an armoire. The alleged timeline of the three is suspected to be convoluted, as the friends who last saw the girls the previous evening were also the first to arrive at the Levitt home the next day. The following morning, around 9 a.m., Kirby and her boyfriend visited the house after Streeter and McCall failed to show up at her house. They had planned to spend the day at the water park and were supposed to leave from Kirby's residence. Upon arriving, Kirby found the home's front door unlocked and entered the home. There was no sign of Streeter, McCall, or Levitt. Each of the cars were parked outside. She also reported to police that the glass lamp shade on the porch light was shattered, though the bulb was intact. You know how... So I know, now I'm thinking, I didn't pay attention the first couple times I read it. The globe around the light was broken, not the light itself, so it wouldn't have been particularly dark. It's just there would have been glass on the porch, I guess. Kirby's boyfriend innocently helped her sweep up the broken glass, which police later determined may have destroyed potential evidence. Yeah, that wasn't too smart. But then again, though, this was 92, you know, like, they probably just wanted to clean up the glass. And this is, like, right when they discover that they're not there, so they probably don't think anything bad happened yet. So, inside the house, Kirby found Levitt and Streeter's dog, a Yorkshire Terrier named Cinnamon, who appeared agitated, while inside Kirby answered a strange and disturbing call from an unidentified male who made sexual innuendos. She hung up and immediately received another call of a sexual nature, again hanging up the phone. That's weird. Why? And she was answering the phone at their house? Yeah, that's creepy, you guys. I wonder who was calling. Wow, that's really creepy. Several hours later, McCall's mother, Janice, also visited the house after failed attempts to reach her daughter by phone. Inside, she noticed all three of the purses sitting on the floor, also her daughter's clothing neatly folded from the night before. Levitt and Streeter's cigarettes also left inside the house. Janice frantically called police from the home's telephone to report the three women missing. After placing the call, while checking the phone's answering machine, she listened to a strange message, but inadvertently erased the tape. Police were very interested in the call and believed it may have contained a clue. They also did not believe it was connected to the prank calls Kirby received. So now the sexual ones were prank calls, just coincidentally? That sounds a little out there. McCall's parents contacted police in reference to their daughter's disappearance from Levitt's home more than 16 hours after the women were last seen. And worried friends and family called and visited the home the next day. Police later estimated that the crime scene had been corrupted by 10 to 20 people who visited Levitt's house. What is this, John Bonet? Sheesh. Actually, this is 2 years before John Bonet, I think. Right? That was 94, I think. This was 92. So this is before John Bonet. Oh my god, I have a fucked up John Bonet story. Well, it's not, it's a joke, kind of, because, like, I can't believe it happened. Real quick, I'll tell you. You know how I was talking about Diane Downs? She looks like Janelle Evans from Teen Mom 2? Well, Janelle Evans, at some point in her crazy, ridiculous life, wanted to name her next child John Bonet. What? And I saw this on Reddit, and someone said, like, oh my god, imagine her opening up the door screaming for her through the swamp, because they live in North Carolina and their property is, like, disgusting, like, swampy, marshy land. It's nasty. But that's funny, like, the person said, imagine her opening up the door, get in here, John Bonet! It's just so funny, because Janelle just thought that was like a regular name. She didn't realize that. I mean, John Bonet, I don't know if everybody knows, but her dad's name, John Bennett, it was like a female version of that. So, she's gonna name her kid also after John Bennett. She doesn't even know who John Bennett is. Anyway, I'm sorry. I had to get it out. It just popped in my head, and sometimes, and it won't go away until I stop thinking about it. And sometimes you need a little humor in these dark true crime cases to, like, breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? John Bonet. Get in here, John Bonet. Reddit's an evil place. But I can't believe that idiot just went, oh, okay, good. She's not smart. I mean, look at her. Her husband shot her puppy for being a puppy. And then he gets her fired from her $300,000 a year job. Oh, and he's so disgusting. Like, he's not even worth it. Ew. Alright. Sorry, guys. Alright, back to the subject. Okay, little comedy break over. On December 31st, 1992, a man called the America's Most Wanted hotline with information about the women's disappearances, but the call disconnected when the switchboard operator attempted to link up with Springfield investigators. Police said the caller had prime knowledge of the abductions and publicly appealed for the man to contact them, but he never did. Levitt and Streeter were declared legally dead in 1997, however their case files are still officially filed under missing. That is so sad, you guys. Like, seriously, where did they go? Investigators received a tip that the women's bodies were buried in the foundations of the south parking garage at Cox Hospital. Now, this is a messed up story. I remember seeing this on a documentary recently on, I think, ID. I watch so much Investigation Discovery, you guys, it's crazy. But, like, I'm pretty sure it was some show on that channel. And this shit is crazy. Like, for some reason, they got a tip saying these 3 women were dead and buried underneath this parking garage, because apparently it was in construction at the time that they went missing. And so they threw them there because they knew they were going to be pouring concrete over top and making a parking garage. Yo. Yeah. So this is Cox Hospital. Now, in 2007, crime reporter Kathy Baird invited Rick Norland, a mechanical engineer, to scan a corner of the parking garage with ground-penetrating radar. Okay, here's another little side note. We all watch Adventures with Purpose before Jared decided he was a pedo. Well, FYI, like, they use the kind for water, and this is the kind for ground. Okay, so you know how Adventures with Purpose can find missing people and the cops can't because they have shitty equipment? It's the same situation here, okay? Except this is on the ground. So, they scanned the corner of the garage with the ground-penetrating radar, and Norland found 3 anomalies, roughly the same size that he said were consistent with a gravesite location. 2 of the persons who reported the tip provided no evidence or logical reasoning behind this theory at the time or since then. The anomalies were parallel, and the other was perpendicular. So, like, 2 of them were laying this way, and 1 was this way. So that's crazy, right? And they can see this underneath the concrete with this ground penetrating radar. So She said that the parking garage began construction in September 93, over a year after the appearances. Digging up the area and subsequently reconstructing this structure would be extremely costly, and without any reasonable belief that the bodies could be located here, it is illogical to do so, and for those reasons, SPD does not intend to. Investigators have determined this lead not to be credible. Daryl Moore, a former assistant of the Greene County Prosecutor's Office, said the tip came from someone who either claimed to be a psychic or claimed to have a dream or vision about the case. Oh. But the radar! I don't know. So, in 1997, Robert Craig Cox, imprisoned in Texas as a convicted kidnapper and robber, and the suspect in a Florida murder, told journalists that he knew the three women had been murdered and buried and claimed their bodies would never be recovered. In 1992, Cox had been living in Springfield, and when interviewed then, he told investigators he was with his girlfriend at church the morning after the women disappeared, and she corroborated. However, she later recanted her statement and said that Cox had asked her to say that. Cox also stated that he was at the home of his parents the night of the disappearance, and they confirmed that alibi. Authorities were uncertain if Cox was involved in the case or if he was seeking recognition for the alleged murders by issuing false statements. Cox stated to authorities and journalists he would disclose what happened to the three women after his mom dies. So yeah, the case is still unresolved, you guys, as of 2023, in spite of upward of 5,000 tips from the public. In June 1997, a bench was dedicated to the women inside the Victims' Memorial Garden in Springfield's Phelps Grove Park. Oh boy, they got a bench. I appreciate the gesture. I think it's sweet and everything, but like, isn't that a little weird? So I don't know if I ever mentioned, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I just wanted to show you guys, look at my cute Buffy dress. It's got the bee. The Buffy bee. Isn't that cool? Anyway, yeah, I did the laundry today and thought, well, let me be pretty for a little while. Because I really, I'm still not myself, you guys. Like, I keep thinking that I'm better, and then I go and I do something, like, just the other day, simply just grocery shopping with my friend. It completely wiped me out. I was so tired afterwards. I slept all day. And all I did was go shopping. Everything I do exhausts me so badly that I just have no energy for anything. It's really upsetting. But anyway, yeah, so let me know what you guys thought of the case. I mean, I did it a little spur of the moment because I wanted to do it as the special request for Cassandra. Hope you liked it. Yeah, let me have some comments, you guys. This is it's another older case, but I plan on covering all different kinds of cases from all different time periods. So, yeah, sometimes they're going to be 90s, 80s, I mean, heck, even 70s, Bundy, because I'm going to do a video on Bundy eventually. I've studied him all my life. I really, really have. I mean, I remember being assigned in middle school or high school, I don't know which school it was. We had this assignment where we had to create some sort of media, and we had to interview a serial killer. So, of course I picked Ted immediately, right? And then I had to find somebody to be Ted, and I talked my dad into doing it. So I made an audio cassette of myself interviewing Ted Bundy, and the way I thought that Ted Bundy would answer the questions. And yeah, I got a really high A. My teacher was super, super impressed. I worked really hard on that, and I have just always been so fascinated by Bundy. Another thing I want to mention quick, and I've posted this on Facebook, but I just want to let you guys know, Carol Durant, the beautiful woman that escaped from Ted Bundy, one of the only women who escaped, and the only one who escaped not injured, at all, was Carol. And she sat there on that stand in the Florida Chi Omega trial, and she looked him right in the face. I would have been terrified, but she was so brave, and what a gorgeous woman. Oh my God, she was so beautiful. I mean, she's still beautiful, but wow, you guys. Yeah, but anyway, she has a YouTube channel, and I really, really love watching it. She gets a lot of really exclusive TED stuff, um, stuff I'd never seen before, and I love to be able to just grab that. And the videos are all pretty short, so you don't have to sit through like really long ones, like me babbling on now. I'm sorry, you guys. Um, yeah, I've been really, really down again. Like I after I shopped, I slept for a full day, so now I'm back, and I'm gonna try and keep a steady roll on here, because I tell you what, the Idaho stuff just keeps on getting more and more disturbing. The dude is such a psychopath. Um, but oh, and if you wanted something to check out on YouTube that's really adorable, Chronicles of Olivia got an interview with Kaylee's family, the Gonsalves family, and it was a beautiful little episode she did, and I was really happy that, I mean, I was proud of her because I've been watching her since Gabby Petito. Um, Olivia, I mean, I've been watching her, and she's like a big, heavy TikTok person. I don't even have TikTok, so I like. In fact, I downloaded TikTok the other day, but just because I wanted to see a video. I haven't even signed in. I don't. It's just another can of worms. I don't like to start things that I can't finish, and that's, yeah. I'm just not gonna bother right now. But anyway, I'm sorry, just babbling on. I just wanted to make sure I got everything I was thinking about telling you guys out. Yeah, I think that's about everything. So I will catch you guys later. Bye.